It's minus 25 degrees at the North Pole. Can you handle extreme cold? Are you fit enough? Do you want to push yourself to the edge? Have you got the nerve to run on ice floes above the Arctic Ocean? These are the questions answered by the competitors of one of the world's most extreme marathons, the 2004 Red Moon North Pole Marathon.
The origins go back to 2002, and the North Pole Marathon was actually started by accident. What happened was, in 2002 I went to the South Pole and I won the South Pole Marathon, which was a complete surprise to other people in the race. The second place competitor was an American, and he decided he would go to the North Pole and try to be the first marathoner at both poles, and he was going to do so in secret. I found out about the plot, and he was leaving to go up through Canada. I found out about it, and I negotiated with some Russians and sneaked up through Norway, and I got to the North Pole before him and ran a marathon. So what I did this year, I set about advertising in some American magazines, putting up a website and basically promoting the race as much as possible. I eventually got a field lined up of 15 people, and they included some famous people like Sir Ranulph Fiennes, who's a legendary British explorer, Sean Birch, an adventure athlete from the US, who actually climbed Everest last year, and a number of other people, including amateurs.
Well, we flew from Dublin via Copenhagen, Oslo up to Spitsbergen in Svalbard, and Longyearbyen was a settlement that were in a small mining town well inside the Arctic Circle. And it was a fantastic experience just being in Longyearbyen, the most northerly point town settlement-wise that there's scheduled flights to, and fantastic scenery. It's just the village is just at the edge of a fjord and it's absolutely beautiful. So there's a few training runs there, and then when we actually got to the North Pole, it was in an Antonov Russian jet, cargo converted, which was an experience in itself because there's very few working seat belts on it, which didn't seem to bother the Russians at all. And stepping off the plane at the North Pole was just amazing. It was just mind-blowing getting off the plane, realising that we were on top of the world, and obviously it's ice and snow as far as we could see, and a small little tent, half a dozen tents, where we were going to be based, and just being there was a fantastic experience, let alone doing what we did.
On the afternoon of April 9th, race organiser Richard Donovan marked out the 42-kilometre course. In the early hours of Saturday morning, the 10th of April, the 15-person field assembled at Camp Borneo in near perfect weather conditions for the start of the Red Moon North Pole Marathon.
Okay, ready, let's go!
And this is the beauty about the North Pole. There's 24 hours of daylight for 6 months of the year, so visibility wasn't going to be a problem. At half midnight we had the race underway, and Brent Wiener, a guy from Wyoming, the United States, led for most of the first half of the race, and he was eventually overhauled by Sean Birch, another guy from the US, who went on to win the race with Ranulph Fiennes, who relished the conditions. He was famous as a polar expert. He came in second place with Timothy Mitchell-Smith from the UK third. But the inspiration for everybody up there was Mark Pollock, a blind athlete who's living in Dublin, and he ran very gracefully around the course and actually finished in 10th position.
I had an operation six years ago, 10th of April today, and haven't been able to see ever since. So 6 years ago I thought that absolutely nothing was going to be possible, and today I'm standing on the North Pole on top of the world.
You just takes a lot of mental and physical preparation, and then you can accomplish anything in life. Plus, I mean, this is beautiful. This is heaven right here. I mean, I'm running in heaven to me. So I mean, it's just a joy the whole entire race.
I haven't been up here for a long time, and I wanted to see the old place again, and it's a good opportunity to do so.
Crossing the finish line and a feeling of elation and exhaustion, and having proven to yourself that you could take on something and achieve it, and in the process raise money for deserving local charity.
Another first for the Red Moon North Pole Marathon, as Anya Foley-Smith, part of the support team, became the first Irish woman to reach the North Pole.
And I'm always complaining about the cold in Ireland, but I'll never complain about it ever again after being on the North Pole. Before this I thought that most people were mad who wanted to do it, but after actually watching the runners going around, it was a tough job. They were tough guys and fantastic inspiration to anyone. They were brilliant.
So this is going to be a growing event. I feel there'll be about 50 people going next year. To register for the race, simply log on to www.npmarathon.com.